There will be higher inflation. There will be slower growth.
What does that mean? Who's taking the pain? The average working person will be taking the pain.
Retirement funds go down by 20, 30, 40%.
We have our third and I believe final CNN panel of the day, though, again, they have all been vastly different. This one is about tariffs, where I really want to hit on the effects tariffs will cause everyone. And the debate does a good job on this. So like our channel if you can, leave a like on the video. It helps us out a ton. And let's jump right in.
All of the macroeconomic talk is going over their head. And honestly, I feel for them. I feel for them because it doesn't seem like anyone is talking directly to them. They're talking to the markets, they're talking to each other, they're talking to the financial system, but no one's telling somebody, hey, at the end of this summer, when you need to buy school supplies for your kids to go back to school when it's backpack time, like that money will be there and those prices will be stable. No one is talking to them. And I think that's the biggest tragedy in all of this.
The truth to be told to them, most people don't want to say. Because we had it today from Jerome Powell, chair of the Fed. He said there will be higher inflation. There will be slower growth.
And that's exactly it. So I want to spend this segment speaking in these kind of everyday layman terms so we're not getting all academic, macroeconomic in the talk. These tariffs are on everything. So they're also paid by companies in America. These companies, to keep the same profits coming in, will raise their prices to make up for the cost difference these tariffs will affect them. This is what inflation is. Inflation is literally just a growth in prices. This isn't a theory. It isn't a maybe. Tariffs have always done this, and they will always do this to U.S. companies. U.S. companies that have a profit line will always respond this way because the profit line is what keeps companies functioning. Tariffs don't magically just create jobs through, it's going to force U.S. factories to open. No, U.S. investment does that. Tax incentives does this. Tariffs, when matched with those, can then incentivize buying from those factories rather than the foreign companies, as it'll make those more expensive. But Trump hasn't announced any plans of said investment. Thus, for right now, all we know is that we're getting price growth and everything else is uncertain.
So the real sadness tonight is the people at home who are looking to retire.
Absolutely.
In the next year or two, and have suddenly seen their retirement funds go down by 20, 30, 40%. Because they wanted to take advantage of the Magnificent Seven and all of those sort of things. Tonight, they're wondering, how the heck do I actually do it? This is real life economics, to your point. You're right. The sort of nonsense that we can all go on about.
Oh, it's not nonsense.
Well,
I'm just saying.
But it's totally true because you're making a really important point. There is not some kind of 360 plan that has been articulated to America here.
So let's talk about the stock market also, because retirement is very important. And these MAGA clowns are so disingenuous to pretend that small declines under Biden mean bad economy, but now are pretending massive drop under Trump mean good economy, mean normal. And it's not just, it can lead to confusion about what these things mean. The market is pretty much entirely controlled by the top 10%. I mean, the top 1% owns 54% of it. The top 10% owns like 93%. So it's more indicative of capital being like investment, how investors are feeling essentially, rather than the economy or how the economy is doing. But, and this is what's important, when we are seeing it react negatively to plans from the president, Trump in this situation, of which we don't have an end in sight for, we don't know when these tariff plans, this trade war is going to end, it threatens people's retirements, which 77% of the middle class relies on a 401k. The 401k is composed of stocks. These people now have uncertainty as to when they could retire. Let's say they were getting ready to. Now, that's no longer the case. Maybe you have to wait a couple years, or you're hoping it's just a couple years, or you retire now, but you have 20%, 30%, 40% less than what you were expecting to retire on. I mean, it's a really chaotic time for everyone.
Trump said, well, we're going to have to take a little pain. What does that mean? Who's taking the pain? The average working person will be taking the pain because when inflation hits, those are the people that spend 60% of their take home in energy and food, fueling their cars. I mean, we're going to be in a very, very difficult situation.
I find it insane that we're all finally concerned about inflation. That was a word that really didn't exist for many years while Joe Biden was president.
But wait, that's the point, isn't it? Republicans said Democrats were ignoring inflation, and inflation is this world-breaking major issue, and that if they get elected, they'll fix it immediately, and then they get elected to fix it, and now it's like, well, inflation is patriotic. Like, what is the Republicans' point here? This is why MAGA is the ultimate snake oil salesman. Yes, Trump did talk about tariffs on the campaign trail, but in spurts, where his main economic message was, again, how he would fix everything on day one. They're not even 60 days into taking office. He's finally being honest that, yes, the economists were right, guys. I'm sorry I lied. The economists were being honest. Everybody was right. My tariff plan is going to have horrendous effects, and you're going to just have to deal with it because I'm rich enough that it won't matter. I mean, it's just crazy to see it actually happen. But this lady is right. Those in the middle class who are already expending 65% of their checks on things like energy, gas, food. It goes up if you include rent. They're not going to forget how Orange Man came in office and all these prices rose, just like they didn't with Biden in the 2024 election. Only this time it's going to be politically worse for the long term because this was entirely self-inflicted, whereas under Biden, it was the COVID mess he inherited.